Big Goodwin here, and eventually we will like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, help promote and rank up my channel. So, Rooster Teeth has partnered up with Grace Randolph, Miss Diversity Matters herself. So Rooster Teeth, I'm not sure why this is a ship you would want to jump on, because there's obviously an iceberg right ahead, and there has been for a while. But Grace Randolph has decided to partner up with them, and I don't know what the deal is, what the deal looks like, or whatever it is. But I don't think it's the wisest of moves. And it's probably not the wisest of moves for them either. Recently, Grace Randolph has had several hot takes, and she's had some hot takes before, some really bizarre hot takes. If you're not familiar with her, she's a movie critic, scooper. She gets some insider details that can't always be proven wrong or right. And sometimes it seems like she's making up stuff because she loves drama. But I'm not going to go there and say that's the case. She could be absolutely right. She could be absolutely wrong. That's how this scooper game works, and I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of the rumor mill or the gossip. This isn't high school. But Grace Randolph did argue with the director on Twitter like it was high school over dick pics. Cathy Yan, the director of the Birds of Prey movie, if you saw that, that was pretty hilarious. So, two so-called professional women arguing over dick pics on Twitter, where everybody could see it, is just so damn high school. And recently, Grace Randolph has had several things that people aren't very fond of. I personally am not an active viewer of her channel. I don't stay tuned. She talks too much of that Diversity Matters stuff, and it all seems weird, fringe, and bizarre to me, where she compliments movies on the level of diversity. I don't know if that factors into her overall score for movies, but sometimes it's damn sure seems like it does. Like, the amount of diversity is what makes a movie great. Anyways, so like I said, Rooster Teeth themselves, they're not in the greatest position either, and they haven't been in a while, and I don't think they're gonna do so well, even with all the moving away from all this stuff that they've been dealing with, amidst a shakeup resulting from the recent wave of sexual misconduct accusations made against several employees. Rooster Teeth has announced that several new series and creators will officially join the entertainment network, including popular media YouTuber Grace Randolph. And this isn't to criticize Grace Randolph. This is just to point some things out, and considering what all they're dealing with, I'm not sure why she would, like I said, want to jump on that ship. But obviously, it must be lucrative for her. But following merging of Rooster Teeth's gaming and podcast networks under a single banner, The Roost published a blog post in order to give fans a few updates on behalf of our Roost. I almost said roast, but I mean that would be a fair assessment of it anyway. As we announced during RTX at Home, we are launching a new roast partner, and I'm just going to skip past some of that, where Grace Randolph just goes on to say, I'm joining Friends of Rooster Teeth. Yay! Oh, so you'll also be able to watch me on their awesome website. More info closer to launch. That, seriously. So Grace Randolph has actually done some pretty cool stuff. Tokyo Pop adaptations of Warcraft and StarCraft, Justice League Unlimited, and X-Men Nation X. So, aside from being, you know, the YouTuber and the scooper she is, with some of the insider details and getting some of the big Hollywood interviews like Zack Snyder, but Randolph recently garnered attention for her claim that The Mandalorian star Pedro Pascal left production halfway through Season 2, which sparked a wave of criticism and debate over the accuracy of the information. I actually did a video on that, but I don't actually even know, after doing it, you know, I don't know if any of that is actually true, what she said. And it's like the Cathy Yan thing. You can't really prove it, and you can't disprove it either. So you could argue that a director would know best, but a director would also, hide something like that due to course correction and everything that the film was. So, anyways, last week, Randolph took issue with Netflix's, this is the big one right here, took issue with Netflix's casting of Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. And I also think that Grace Randolph hates Jennifer Lawrence. I know she definitely hates Jessica Chastain for some reason. Like I said, I'm not an active viewer. I've seen enough of her channel to know that I just don't want to be an active viewer because she's really out there on the diversity matter stuff, and it seems like the fringe far left echo chamber that Hollywood lives in, that she kind of lives there too. So she complained about it with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence being cast because they're both white. Apparently, this is what she said. Look, if you don't see the issue of two white blonde actors playing the two leads in a movie where they play two modern scientists, meaning you really could cast anybody, then what the hell have we been doing for the past few months? And that's just a really bizarre thing to say to me. It's not like this is, as far as I know, it's not source material being adapted where the characters were originally of a different race, and unlike a lot of comic book movies that she tends to applaud when they race change characters, it's like, yay, diversity. I'm against those departures from the source material. So, I don't know exactly what her problem is here, because like I said, I don't think this is source material being adapted. But she has a problem with there being two white leads, two blonde white actors. And when you hear that Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence get cast in a movie, is your first thought really, well, this is a problem. They're both white. I mean, imagine if they were a different race and she said that. Just imagine that for a second. So, Randolph also went on to engage more recently in the backlash towards Chris Pratt, where everybody was just coming after him because it seemed like they were trying, just because he's a churchgoer and a Christian and all that, they're trying to frame him as anti-LGBT, and also because he hasn't openly really stated what political team he played for while they considered him a Trump supporter, and that's all the backlash is for. So Avengers came in to defend him, surprisingly, even crazy, insane, far-left Mark Ruffalo, and they turned on him in an instant. And it's really funny because Mark Ruffalo is really out there and really caters this kind of audience, and it's probably partially responsible for influencing their level of extremism with all the anti-white comments and stuff he makes. And funny enough, the first thing his fan base said to him was, die. Like, that's the response after all that building off that is the first thing said to just die. Really? Like, these are the people that you want to cater to, that this is, and then they went on in all their anti-white, anti-straight stuff, because like that stuff's not the same thing as being, against LGBT or against a particular race, as if being so against straight white men. You can't go around saying that you're against all that stuff when you're clearly demonstrating that you're just the bigot you're claiming everybody else is. So, Grace Randolph chimed in, I'm not touching this Chris Pratt debacle. Bottom line, the box office will decide. But based on the 2 days of trending top 10 in a row with a negative slant, I'd advise some serious damage control. He can no longer have it both ways like he's been trying to. That sounds pretty anti-LGBT. He can't have it both ways. He can't be bisexual. Is that what you're saying, Grace? But no, seriously, let's move on, because that's not what she's saying. I really don't know what the hell she's saying by he can't have it both ways. I guess he's either got to come out as a Biden supporter or a Trump supporter. And for all these people giving him backlash, he has donated to the Democratic Party before, so there's that. But he can't have it both ways. It's really strange. That's as strange as the people telling him that he can't be apolitical. He's got to pick a side. And I guess that's what she's saying here, that he's got to pick a side. And she went on further, like, the backlash isn't going to go away unless he comes out and picks a side. Pretty much that's what he said. And she said that his co-workers shouldn't defend him. She said, I will say that his co-worker shouldn't defend him because he did this to himself. That's right. He did absolutely nothing, and all this happened. And he's the only one who can get out of it. So they're taking hits for nothing. Well, he's taking hits for nothing, so they're standing up for him because he's taking hits for nothing. And normally, I would say that Mark Ruffalo is just a god-awful person, but there is a level of integrity here. Him coming out against all odds to stand up for Chris Pratt and take those hits. It's not for nothing. It's for a level of integrity that he hasn't previously shown that he's had much of. So Randolph further demanded that Pratt speak out and let everyone know where he stands, because that's going to solve it, or it won't go away. Yeah, because what if he stands with the Trump party? You think they're going to go away? Do you think they... No, they want him to conform. They want him to be exactly like them. If he came out and said he was a Trump supporter, further hell would break loose. But if he actually came out and said he was for the Democratic Party, they'd probably still want him to denounce his church or some psychotic stuff like that, since they're trying to label him anti-LGBT. So that's Grace Randolph for you in a nutshell. She came out and said Pedro Pascal. She said that about Pedro Pascal. She got in arguments about dick pics with Kathy Yang on Twitter. I've seen the evidence where she's like tried to take a jab at what's his name, John Campea or whatever. I saw some videos somebody else did about it. Here's another thing about Grace Randolph. As much as she caters to that crowd too, that diversity matters, this comment right here about Leonardo DiCaprio and all that is really Grace Randolph just pandering to a certain crowd. And here's the funny thing. I've looked around, and some people actually say that, oh, she is associated with the alt-right, that she caters to them, that she's like geeks and gamers, and that it's just, I'm like, what am I reading? Because this woman goes on about diversity matters all the time, so how can you act like she's they're running around trying to label her racist and stuff? So there's the thing. As hard as you pander to that demographic, that crowd, like Grace Randolph doing, the more you stick out, and these people are going to turn on you in an instant. Half of them hate Grace Randolph already. All these people that she tries to cater to, like most normal people, don't give a damn about the whole diversity matters thing, because there's always been representation in TV and stuff like that. I mean, in the 90s, I watched a ton of I've said it before, I watched a ton of like all black shows, you know, Jamie Foxx, Wayans Brothers, all that stuff, and people talk today like there's always been this underrepresentation, like they just can't get work in Hollywood because it's all about white people. So, just let's go down here and check a few comments real fast. So, Grace Randolph. Another person. Mace Gandalf. I don't think Chris Pratt needs advice from a nobody YouTuber like Grace Randolph. Her extremist politics represent maybe 5% of the population. So, no damage control. Oh. So, yeah, he's right. They wrote Star Trek, Star Wars, The Last of Us. He's got a very, very big point. So, so far it looks like nobody in the comment section really thinks much of Grace Randolph. And I'm not going to read all these because some of these are just pretty strong jabs at her, and that's not the point of this video. I just wanted to point out that, you know, I don't know why Rooster Teeth decided to partner up with her, considering everything they've been done. I guess they're not aware of the hot takes she sometimes has, and I think that she'll do something that might reflect poorly on them, but Grace Randolph, too, she doesn't need them. I don't know why she's taking a deal with them, because they haven't been in the greatest state either, and I guess they think they're going to help each other, but I just think it's kind of going to ensure mutual destruction. Maybe I'm wrong, because I think Rooster Teeth would go before Grace Randolph ever did, honestly. But let me know your thoughts and opinions. What do you think of Grace Randolph? And don't, I mean, I'm not an active viewer of her channel for one reason. One reason only is because, well, actually for more than one reason. Sometimes she just seems a little condescending, egotistical, and the diversity matters stuff really sticks out for me, because she's a movie critic, and sometimes she applauds movies for the level of diversity and representation they have. And I don't know if she's giving... It's almost as if she's giving them extra points for diversity, whereas, you know, story and stuff like that matter so much more than everybody's skin color, gender, and sexual orientation. But, you know, I'm somebody who criticized race changes from comic book characters, too. So, I mean, I don't think that's the exact same thing as what's going on here. Because, like I said, Leonardo DiCaprio, this isn't some adaptation that I'm familiar with that Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio are in, where she's complaining that that's just one too many white people. Like, Chris Pratt is just one too many Chris's, and one too many Chris's that are white. So, anyways, thoughts, opinions, let me know what you think of Grace Randolph, what you think of Rooster Teeth, what you think of this deal. And this video isn't to criticize Grace Randolph, because sometimes she has some really great insider scoops. Sometimes, you know, but her reviews aren't for me, and her information isn't something I'm going to run with anymore without, you know, my own sources, but I don't have insider sources like her, so it is what it is. She's also come out and called, like, Jeff Johns a functioning psychopath, and I think that's going a bit far. When she came out in defense of Ray Fisher, and Ray Fisher hasn't really come forward with anything. He's just kind of gone quiet since he's got everything going for him with these whole Snyder Cut reshoots. But, thoughts, opinions, all that good stuff. Stay awesome. Rock on.